Okay. Should be good. Okay, we're live. Yeah, alright. I think I'm getting this as well. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay, just gonna give people a couple seconds to get in. Let me send out all the messages and stuff. That this is a thing that's happening. Alright. Okay, yeah. Okay, everything's set up. Perfect. Let's get started then. Let's just make sure everything's good. And today I managed to do this without, restarting the entire game. Amazing. Everyone's crying. Hand in hand, we travel the cursed mansion's corridor. The halls overflow with darkness, cut off from the sun and devoid of color. Despite having spent much time in this place, it never stopped being depressingly gloomy. No one, for any reason, should be left behind in a place like this. We cross through the living room, making our way back to the back garden door. There are no children left beyond the door, but I can faintly smell flowers. Michelle, what am I supposed to say to them? If nothing comes to mind, you don't have to say anything. I get the feeling they have something to say to you, though. So if you would, try to hear them out. I'm not looking forward to this. It'll go fine, I promise. Nothing that happens could possibly make things worse than they already are. The only way to go from here is up, so up we go. Let's go then, I suppose. A hollow breeze brushes through the gray-filled rose garden. The shadow standing there turns toward us. It gradually starts looking more and more like the man it once was. Morgana. It's okay. We're here to free your soul. Michelle. You forgive me for what I did, Morgana? No, I don't. All this means is I'm done cursing you. Either way, thank you. I know what I'm doing here now. I guess I remember what I'm doing here. I deserve to be cursed after everything I've done to you. It can't have been easy, that's for sure. I'm sorry for all the pain I caused. What's done is done. I guess. Still, I wasn't lying when I said I wanted to be friends. I meant it. I really did. I know now why you did what you did, why you sold me out. Some people might say you had no other choice, but as a girl you actually sold out. Those are words you'll never hear from my lips. Fair enough. Nonetheless, objectively speaking, you too were a victim. Do you now resent me for punishing you in spite of that? Huh? I presume you're now able to recall everything, both your first life and the second one I subjected you to. When the house was called Rose Manor? Yeah. What happened then was a result of my wish. You have every right to despise me. The way I see it, with or without your curse, Nellie would have still had the same feelings for me. It was my fault for being too dense to realize she thought of me as more than a brother. Things would have turned out that way, the way they did, regardless. The white-haired girl was the spark that set her off, though. It was because of me she ended up at the mansion. My wish was to see your life utterly ruined. And in service of that desire, the white-haired girl was born into that era as your half-sister. So I disagree. My curse did play a significant role in your fate. Regardless, I don't feel like it'd be right for me to blame you. Things turned out the way they did, because I was weak and ran from the problem instead of facing it. Michelle wouldn't have had to get hurt either if only had more of a spine. I guess calling her Michelle is kind of confusing with Michelle here. How should I refer to her then? Girl Michelle, maybe? Creativity is not your strong suit, is it? She wouldn't happen to be around, would she? She has departed from this world. Or perhaps it would be better to say she's returned to a rightful place in it. The girl you knew as Michelle is gone forever. Ah, that's too bad. I was hoping I could apologize to her too. I believe you've made your feelings quite clear. Not that she would hold it against you if you didn't apologize. That's simply her nature. Well, Morgana, I'm so sorry for everything. I want to free your soul from the bonds of this cursed mansion, after which it should return to its rightful place. Okay. But before that, I got one last thing I'd like to say to you, Michelle. To me, it was a little hazy, but I kinda did get to see what you were up to until just a little bit ago. If you hadn't done what you did for me, for Nellie, for Morgana, for everyone, I'm not sure I would have been able to work up the guts to apologize. I'm pretty sure I would have still been convinced I wasn't at fault. It may not have been real, but your effort wasn't in vain. Thank you. You're welcome. Well, I guess this is goodbye. Farewell, Mel. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Goodbye, Morgana. You don't have to tell me that he wasn't a bad person. But bad people aren't the only ones who do bad things. That's true, yes. But having a conscience can be a double-edged sword. The regret's so overwhelming you don't want to believe you could do something so awful, that some outside force must be to blame. So I hope you're willing to accept at least part of his apology. Lead the way, my dear. To where the next soul waits. The staircase leading to the cellar is quiet. The air is still. No sounds of flesh being devoured, no stench of blood. Just darkness reaching ever downward. I'm going to have to ask you to go in first this time. I don't mind, but why? I'd rather not be skewered. He'll be fine, I'm sure. I doubt he'll attack. I can't say I'm anywhere near as confident as you. So you get to be my Mitchell should anything go wrong. Ah, so that's what I'm doing to her. You may not have bodies, but we're still capable of feeling pain. You don't have to remind me. I have to say, I'm a bit surprised you actually made it to the top of the tower. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Half and half. Regardless, I don't assume you're safe just because you're already dead. If you were to attack and destroy your soul, you'd be erased for all eternity. There'd be no coming back in any shape or form, after any amount of time. Just something to keep in mind. I'm not worried. We shouldn't have any trouble talking to him. If you say so. Then off we go. I push open the cellar door. Behind it, a shadow of a man sits on the floor, leaning against a stack of boxes. He slowly rises to his feet upon hearing us enter, and as he does, the blackness dissolves away, revealing the man. I almost didn't recognize you. Your face, it's not how I remember. It's back to normal. I see. So you weren't a witch. You were a pretty human girl. You look a little like the blind girl. No, I do not. Not one bit. But I think he looks far more like her than I. White hair, red eyes, they even have almost the same name. I think comparing her to a large, dour-looking man is a bit disrespectful. Don't pretend you look any more approachable. He's not even half the man you think he is. Was that really necessary, Morgana? He is a man. He is indisputably a man. No matter what reason you have to claim otherwise. You keep also the ally. Actually, can angels be male or female? Can you please cut it out with the angel thing already? So, what brings you two down here? We're here to free your soul. You're forgiving me? Absolutely not. However, I've decided there's no point in punishing you any further. I see. You are in no uncertain terms one of the most evil men I have ever encountered. I can hardly argue with that. Should you so desire, I can eradicate you. Morgana, what are you... Let me finish, Michelle. Instead of letting your soul return, I can erase it. Your existence is a scar on the world. The allure of killing is too strong for you to resist. Even without my curse, you would only bring pain and misfortune on others. You're right. That would probably be for the best. The world would be better off without me. And I know that. I do. But I don't want to disappear. I don't want... As you wish. Then I will release your soul. Before I go, allow me to burn this into my soul. You must resist temptation if you're to blend in. So in my next life, I won't be a killer. I suppose it's worth trying. Do your best, dear. I will. Farewell, Yukimasa, until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Farewell, Morgana. He's not the only one who derived pleasure from others' pain. Morgana. It's strange, setting them free. I both feel like a weight's been lifted. And like I'm the greatest villain of them all. Perhaps by forgiving them you can come to forgive yourself. But if I forgive them, what does that make everything I've done up to now? The first step towards moving on. Could you forgive those who wronged you then? The woman who tormented you. Your brother who made a mockery of you. Your eldest brother who took your life. Your mother so unwilling to accept you she burned you at the stake. The villagers who falsely accused you of being a witch. Your father who raped the woman you love. Could you forgive them? If they were willing to repent. And if they weren't? What if they showed up intent on causing you more pain? Then I suppose I'm not acting much better than any of them right now. Let's go, we have one more soul to free. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Is Giselle really there with you? Sorry, something just came up and I had to check that real fast. But things are... Okay, let's keep on moving on. Because I cannot sense her at all. If she were in the mansion, I would know. But I can't feel her presence anywhere. Be honest with me. You can't feel her either, can you? Are you sure her soul isn't extinguished? She's here, I'm certain of it. Lost somewhere deep in this mansion's darkness. Once we've purged that darkness, she should be free to return. I have faith in her. I see. Well, I'm not sure how much this means coming from me. But I hope you meet again. I hope you see her again. I will. And thank you. I'm actually rather fond of Giselle. Although I suppose it's hard not to get a little attached to someone you spent several hundred years with. Just attached? Giselle, she's fairly fond of you herself. I can only hope. The smell of cigarette smoke seeps through the cracks in the den's door. It's perfectly quiet behind it, however. No chatter or clacking billiard balls. Morgana appears slightly reluctant to step through the door. Or perhaps she's tense. Shall we? Her hand in mine. I push open the door. A shadow is perched on the edge of the dark green rectangular table. He freezes for a moment when he hears us enter. Quickly finding his composure and marching towards us, determination in his step, the shadow dissolves, revealing the man. Morgana. Your face, it's healed. It did. It's been a long time coming. And would you look at that, not a letdown? Was it him that healed you? Yes, it was him. Well, I'll be. I was also hoping I'd be the one to have on. You lost that qualification when you... Yeah, I know. I'm the one who made you into the witch. The one who killed you. I don't expect or deserve your forgiveness. I still like a chance to make amends in any way you wish. Even if it means being cursed for all eternity. I'm here to release your soul. Once that's done, that's it for me. No curses, no forgiveness. Nothing. Huh. So you're cutting ties completely. Damn. Truthfully, I had no idea how you felt about me. But that ship sailed long ago. Far, far too long ago. I know. Nothing can change how I feel about you. Not anymore. I bet. I'm going to release your soul now. Could you hold off on that for a moment? I don't expect you to reciprocate or even accept. But if I don't put my feelings into words, I'll never get them through to you. I think that's how she put it anyway. So I asked for this one last chance to put them into words. Morgana. Fine. The girl with the white hair, my wife. Michelle, whatever. Something about that name always felt off to me. I could never shake the feeling that calling her that was somehow wrong. When I first saw her. First saw that smile, I was dead certain she'd always been missing from my life. that finally found what I've been searching for. And now I know why. Because I felt you in her. The memories of you ingrained on my soul. You should know better than anyone we're nothing alike. That cook wouldn't say anything remotely implied even if you held a knife to her throat. You're right. You're nothing alike. But you both got this aura about you that drew me in. Your soul's aura. I loved you dearly, Morgana. I've got no right to ask anything of you I know. Because you made me smile for me. Wow. Wow, this asshat. Just once is all I ask. I can't do that. I know I should. That it would let us end things on a nice note. But I can't force myself to smile. You wouldn't be fair. Yeah, I guess you're right. Sorry for putting you in that position. I've said my piece. I'm ready now. Okay. Very well then. Farewell, Jacopo. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Goodbye, Morgana. We couldn't have done anything more for him? Such as? I won't deny that my feelings about him are complicated. But things he did to me, they eclipse all that. Merely learning the truth, hearing how he felt is nowhere near enough to erase that. Could you at least put a little hope in your next lives? That maybe you two could try again? No, I can't. I don't want to encounter him again, ever. And if nothing else, could you try not to forget that what he did to save you once? I suppose. But my salvation, Michelle, was not ultimately in his hands. I was watching to the very end. It may have all been an illusion constructed from the memories of everyone's souls. But that didn't make your actions any less real. The things you said to me, your earnest desperation. Learning the truth is only partly why I decided to release their souls. The biggest reason, however, was seeing how far you went for me. If you hadn't been there for my death, if you hadn't done what you did, then I would not have freed them. Nonetheless, is it unfair for me to wish you'd shown him that smile instead? Morgana? Well, that's the last of them. Shall we both be off now? The front door should be open now that I'm not willing it closed any longer. Shall we take our leave of this house? There's one more stop to make. There's still one more soul that needs releasing. Be my guide. Still holding Morgana's hand, I make my way to the wall, where the landscape painting hangs. You told me to come back if I ever figured out your name. Georg. Hey, Michelle. Hello. How'd you figure out it was me? Of course I'd recognize my own brother. Well, granted I didn't recognize you at first. It's not every day your big bro winds up as a painting, huh? It came as quite a surprise when I finally made the connection. I'll bet it did. Hold on a minute. You two are brothers? I assumed you knew. Oh, hello there. Quite the companion you got there, Michelle. So, what brings you two to my little corner of the house? I decided I'm going to extinguish the mansion. Oh, really? Well, isn't that something? You act like I just told you what I'm having for supper. This place is going to disappear forever. Well, yeah, sure, but what brought this about? I've lost interest in cursing them. Ah, now that's some good news. You seem to get along surprisingly well with her. Time out the hoo-ha and nobody else will talk to you to do that to you. Not that she ever gave me the time of day much. You expect me to stand here and listen to you yammer on for hours on end? The only thing you're good for is tossing the rubbish into. Wait, so she was the one who put the master bedroom key in the paint. That she was? Just tossed her right in without even asking. Why would you get rid of the key to my room? I had no use for it. And being in that room always made me uncomfortable. It has this terrible warmth to it. I couldn't stand it. Sure glad she only tossed the key though. Would have been bad if she'd thrown me out with it. I didn't see the need. I did find curious that there was a soul here I hadn't summoned. But you were ultimately harmless. So I simply pretended you weren't there. So she ignored him for hundreds of years? I understand now what you mean, Michelle. And you said this world didn't belong only to me. Your brother was also able to find his way here, because it's a place deeply bound to your soul. I'm no expert on none of this spiritual stuff. All I know is one day I was just here and full of regret. So if I had to guess, I'd say I probably ended up here because I wanted to be somewhere where I could feel you, Michelle. Georg. Would you be so kind as to let me apologize? I know quite well how sorry you are. And you've already apologized once besides. I went years not seeing you, not hearing from you, not having any idea what you thought about me. So when I got that painting, it was a huge blow to me emotionally. But talking to you again has reminded me the kind of person you really are. You didn't mean to hurt me. No. Honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. Mom said to paint it, so I painted it. When she told me she sent it off to you, I didn't really think anything of it. It never even crossed my mind to think about how you felt out there all alone. The kind of pain you were going through just because of the way you were born. When you're not the one on the receiving end, it's easy to be completely blind to your own actions. It never even occurred to me that he had essentially exiled you, Michelle. Not until it was all over. Really, all I can say is, sorry you got stuck with such a dope for a brother. All I had to do was think about it for 2 seconds. I would have realized what we were doing. And you know, at the time I thought, what's the matter if you're a guy or a girl? You're still you. But I was wrong. It's not that simple. I can only imagine someone coming up to me one day and saying, nah, you're actually a girl. And everyone I care about suddenly not wanting anything to do with me. What a drag that'd be. I'm really sorry, bro. It's okay, Georg. I forgive you. Thanks. I wanted so badly to see you and Didier again, Georg. And while I didn't get that chance in life, I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk to you now. To hear the things you never got to say. It pains me to see you reduced to this form, but knowing that is the result of overwhelming regret, that you were just that desperate to find me again, it warms my heart. What on the earth? Me trying my damnedest not to burst into tears. I don't think it worked very well, though. Does the canvas look wet? Could you feel it for me? I think I'll pass. Not feeling up for any brotherly love? Honestly, I'm relieved to see you're still the same Georg I always am. Changing ain't really my thing after all. I suppose it isn't. This doesn't sit right with me. What? Why not? You're letting him off the hook far too easily, Michelle. I know very well just how much pain that painting caused you. It might as well have been what resurrected me. I've moved past that, though. Make him pay for what he did. Scribble on him. Do what? Scrawl your anger all over that ridiculous painting. But I'm not angry. Now that's a damn fine idea if I ever heard one. You most definitely need to make me pay, Michelle. Georg. Go on, hit me with everything you got. Scribble away. Even if I want to, I have nothing to draw with. Just use your finger and I'll trace it out for you. Come on, what are you waiting for? He really wants me to draw on him, doesn't he? He more than deserves it, Michelle. Bring it on, Michelle. This conversation got bizarre quite fast. Okay. I'll draw on you. Oh my. And that is downright ghastly. Hello, Mosca. Welcome back. Yep. Georg. The man who intended to do nothing wrong ever without malice ever in his heart. But is just such a dumbass. You might actually have potential, Michelle. Voodoo dolls are the last thing I expected from you. By the way, I love how all the shadows, like, once Morgana could start seeing them as they were, started appearing as the person they were instead of just indistinct shades. That was such a nice little touch. 4 of them at that. And a demonic being alongside them. Oh, I can just feel your burning rancor, Michelle. That's not what I drew at all. What? Then what is it? It's not important. Now that that's finished, I think it's time we all took our leave. Oh, can I come too? Well, I might need a little help with that, Michelle. As you can see, walking ain't one of my talents. That's alright, I'll carry you. Careful taking me off the hook. By all means, feel free to drop him, Michelle. I must say, that is a rather amusing sight. It's definitely not every day you get to see a full-grown man turn painting being hauled down a spooky hall by his little brother. Georg. Does make me wonder, though. Are you two really brothers? I have a hard time believing you share even a drop of blood with this obnoxious lad, Michelle. We are brothers. Right, Georg? Whoa, don't you start questioning it too, Michelle. We are absolutely, positively, 100% brothers. She has a good point, though. We don't even look that much alike. No shocking family plot twists here. I've known you since you were a baby, Michelle. Maybe you were secretly legitimate, Georg, not me. You're not gonna let go of this, are you? I'm just playing with you. Oh my god, you just laughed. Yes? What? I didn't get to see it. Oh, what was it like? Give me all the details. An ordinary laugh. Is the world ending? It's not that big a deal. I laugh just like everyone else. No, you most certainly do not. Nope, you definitely don't. Well, so much for a tearful reunion with the brother I always knew and loved. Anyway, since we're breaking character here, how about one from our old favorite witch tooth? And no cackling, that doesn't count. Excuse me, why would you want me to? Because every time I've seen you smile, it's never been about anything good. Plus, now that you got your face back, you're actually quite the looker. Go on, give me a big old grin. Not happening. Come on. Okay, fine, if you don't want to do it for me, pretend it's for Michelle. What do I have to do with anything? You can do it for old Michelle, can't you? Show him those pearly whites, girl. Oh, if you insist, I suppose I can smile for Michelle, but only for him. Excuse me. Oh, if you insist, I suppose I can smile for Michelle, but only for him. Excuse me, was that supposed to be my voice? Because I do not sound anything like that. Look at you, all puffing your cheeks and red in the face. Georg, try not to tease her too much. I don't know how anyone can stand you. It's like every word that comes out of your mouth exists solely to ruin the mood. You know, maybe it wouldn't hurt to lighten up a bit. This is the end of a long journey, but that doesn't have to mean we have to make it a somber and uptight affair. I'm genuinely not sure how I feel about you, the most somberly uptight man I know, telling me to lighten up. She's got a point, but I'm not that bad, am I? Anyway, shall we be off now? That we shall. The witch and her band of merry men departs. I'm not sure if one person in a talking painting constitutes a band. Giselle, I know we'll find each other again. I have faith we will. We'll cast away this mountain's darkness, and then I'll wait your return, no matter how long it takes. Yes, I think it's time we took our leave. Having finished what we set out to do, and retrieved Georg as well, we make our way to the mountain's entrance hall. The large door stands there firmly shut, holding in the darkness as it has for countless generations. But that time is almost at an end. The door is ready to be opened, to end the cycle and begin anew. Being a painting for all these years, I never realized just how big a place this was. All I ever got to see was a hallway and maybe a couple of doors. I mean, talk about dull, you know? Feels like I'm on an adventure, exploring a whole new world. A very, very dark world. Michelle, would you mind shutting him up? If only it were that simple. Can you blame me for being talkative? It was a lonely life. That'd be fine if you had any concept of the appropriate time and place to be chatty. Are you aware where we are right now? The entrance, by the look of things. Precisely, the end to a centuries-long act of vengeance is but a few feet beyond that door. And you're chatting away like it's another day at the court. Try to maintain at least a semblance of gravity, if you would. I'm starting to notice you're rather ceremonious, aren't you, Morgana? There's something interesting about how this final chapter, as somber and sad as as how much things aren't necessarily fixed, and Morgana's still deeply wounded, everyone's still not carrying on reunited. They're moving on to new chapters in their lives and trying to be like change, become different, heal, etc. But it is not that somber fair. It's kind of silly. It's a mess. It's not like the totally consistent thing that life is never gonna actually give you. This is a day to be celebrated, not to be all stiff and no fun allowed. Are you not worried at all? There's no guarantee any hope lies beyond that door. After all, when the mountain disappears, so too will we. And that is the rightful state of things. Our present forms may cease to exist, but our souls will live on. And so long as they do, we'll eventually return to the world. Let us press onward, not fearing a temporary end. Well said, Michelle. If I had feet, you'd just swept me right off. Georg, I'm beginning to wonder what would happen if I threw you at the wall. No, let's not do anything hasty. Oh, for God's sake. You're the guide. So let's go then, shall we? Moran's right, there's a severe lack of gravity to be fair. But thanks to Georg's lackadaisical nature, whatever fear I had is gone as well. Does ever play a full interactions bringing me back to when I was alive? To when it was me and my two brothers. Fond memories of the times we had together, of the admiration I had for them, of me chasing after them. Nothing could possibly replace those days, and I'm glad I had a chance to reflect on them, if briefly, before the end. I take a few steps forward, stopping just in front of the door, and Morgana steps up beside me. I envision the light that lies beyond it, radiant and white, waiting to rip through the darkness. The light we seek, that we've long sought. I take in a deep breath, look up at the door, place my hands on its hard surface, and push it open. welcoming the future it holds. Burn the witch. What? Crucify the impure. We take one step back, and then another. What we find outside is not a blinding realm of light, but churning blackness and the stench of blood and rust. Metal clanks, growing louder with each heavy footstep of the approaching night. Also, just this art's just incredible. Death to the unholy. 3 days and 3 nights hanged upon the cross, purified by the fires of heaven. Death. What's going on? I never summoned this thing. Even though we were no longer holding hands, I could feel Morgana trembling. She's no longer the witch, the once absolute ruler of this domain, but a frightened young girl. Placing my arm around her shoulders, pulling her in, I stare half dumbfounded at the night. It is our holy duty as knights of the church to deliver punishment onto the heathen who made a pact with the devil. The night draws nearer and nearer, its movement sluggish but constant. Didier. Wait, for real? Crucify the witch! Cast judgment upon the demon! The word witch coming from the Didier's vengeful phantom's mouth proves far more distressful for Morgana than me. Whoa, hold on! What is Dee doing here? Please come to your senses, Didier. I know it's you. Judgment, crucifixion, execution. No, I'm not a witch. The night is partially occluded by the dark, writhing miasma enveloping him, but he bears the same muscular build as the Didier I knew in my life. And he's unwaveringly determined to see us executed. Didier. This is not how I'd hoped a reunion would go, Didier. Why, after so very long? Is this how the three of us find each other once again? Images flashed through my mind. The day I left the Bollinger estate, when Didier promised me we would one day meet again. Them each giving me a hug before I climbed into the carriage. First Didier, then Georg. Is this my fault? Is he here because I wish to be reunited with my brothers? Is this the way fate chose to grant that wish? Burn the witch. Ah, well, look at that. Because I'm not your only blockheaded brother, huh? Georg. Before you get any bright ideas, Michelle. It's not your fault our long-awaited family reunion didn't quite go as planned. Just like me, Dee cursed himself. Only seems his was a whole lot more powerful. God, I really didn't pay a lick of attention to either of you, did I? The unclean witch must be purified from this world. It is my duty. Hey Dee, are you in there? I shoved a whole lot of crap onto your plate. Keeping up with the family name, taking care of Mom, just about everything else I could leave to you. I did. I must uphold the honor for the family name. And then when it's all over, I blamed you for killing a little brother. I was convinced that you could do anything, that you're stronger than anyone. Crucify the witch. I'm sorry, Dee. Burn the witch. He continues his plodding march forward, seemingly unaffected. It's impossible to tell if Georg's words are getting through to him. Stop, Didier, please. And my words don't seem to be Didier! He's closing in on us and warning on a space to retreat. Alright, Dee, if that's how it's gotta be. But just this once, okay? The knight takes another heavy, merciless step towards us. And the exit's right there. But we're backed up against the wall. The end was almost within our grasp. Yet it seems so hopelessly far away now. Please, Didier, don't do this. I know you don't actually want to hurt anyone. Didier! The knight raises his sword, thrusting it forward with a sharp whoosh. Death! But then, breaking free from my grasp, the painting leaps into the air. I'm really sorry. You're stuck with a pair of adults or brothers. Georg. Next second, my eldest brother's blade pierces Georg. Georg! His form wavers momentarily before fading into the darkness, his voice lingering behind. Don't worry about me, Michelle. I got my share of redemption already. I know we can be a bit of pain, But do for D what you did for me, would you? Now go on, call out to him. Suck on a big old breath. And call out to her brother with everything you got. Georg! It is my duty to punish the impure. To uphold the bond journey. Didier. Despite having already stopped Georg, the knight continues his march. Blade pointed straight at me. I clench my teeth and glare at my eldest brother. Running is out of the question. It doesn't have to go on any longer. It is my duty as the eldest son. You deserve to be freed from your bonds as well. Be gone from this world. Didier! I shout his name with every ounce of air in my lungs. His eyes go wide. And his blade swerves off course, missing my heart. And piercing my gut instead. Didier, it's okay. You can let go now. It's not your responsibility anymore. You have no duty to anything anymore. Didier! I reach a hand out for my brother. Blood spills from the hole in my abdomen in rhythmic spurts. And I can feel something hot rising in my throat. But that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop my hand crawling through the air toward him. He's my brother. I have to do whatever I can for him. Free him. Bring him back. Didier, there's nothing here in need of your judgment. With shaking fingers, I clasp my brother's arm. I squeeze, holding on what vigor remains, and give another shout. Look me in the eyes, Didier, please. Hear my voice. Hear your brother's voice. I can't stand to lose anyone else. If you don't come to your senses, then Georg's sacrifice will have been in vain. It's time for you to break free, for all three of us to be free of the curses we placed on ourselves. Didier, please. Hear a sound that's somewhere between a grunt and a grasp. My vision's gone blurry, so I blink hard several times, clearing my eyes to get a better look at him. Didier. I see his face, twisted in anguish. Michel. Didier. Oh, thank goodness. You heard my voice. Did I do this to you, Michel? It's nothing. I've made the same terrible mistakes once more. Didier. I caused you harm. Attempted to take your life. It's alright, Didier. Michel. Release yourself from the chains that bind you. But those aren't your duties anymore. You don't have to protect the family name, or uphold the order standards. You can do as you wish. Punish me for my wrongdoing. Please, Michel, punish me. Didier, cast judgment upon me. It's all in the past. Judgment's not necessary for anyone. That doesn't change what I did. I killed you. I hanged you from a cross. I must be made to pay for my sins. Punish me, Michel. I implore you. Didier, I think I know now why you never removed your helm that day. Why you remained silent for the whole ordeal. Michel, you were crying, weren't you? Weeping for me. Your tears are atonement enough for me. Michel, you bore a great deal of responsibility in life. As the Bollinger's firstborn, you were obligated to protect the family's honor, and as the knight of the church, you were tasked with the duty of my execution. You had no other choice. I sincerely believe there was nothing else you could have done. I bear no grudge against you, no resentment for the decisions you were forced to make, and I certainly don't curse you. Let's just forget it all. It's long over and done. Still was a mistake I never should have made. I took the life of the purest soul I know. There's no honor in that. Didier, above protecting the family name, but above protecting my actual family. You trusted me, you believed me in the very end, and I killed you. I knew what I was doing. I knew you weren't cursed. I knew you weren't a witch. I knew you weren't a demon child. You were never unclean. You're my brother. Your family. And I robbed you of your life. There's no one in this world more unfit to be a knight than me. You don't have to be a knight anymore. You don't have to be the Bollinger's firstborn son. Deciding not to wear those labels won't make you any less of the brother I always loved. I'm honored to have been born in the same family as you. Michelle, there's something I never had the chance to tell you, did you? All my life I looked up to you, admired you, and I still do even now. It is interesting that Didier, the person he knew, the person he has all those complicated feelings of love and adoration, of the person who was closest to him in life before Giselle, the one who ended up killing him. There's a next life waiting us. I hope we can be brothers again, Didier. And Morgana, despite after everything all, is still in the right and still can't forgive Jacopo and will want a life without him. Whereas Michelle wants some sort of reconciliation still even now. It's also interesting on him being a knight and honor and the family name is similar to Jacopo, in where Jacopo feels all these restrictions and constraints and expectations of society. This is how you be a man, his father said in the same one. Oh, you need to be strong, you need to the nobles must respect you, respect power, all these things. All the other expectations he has, right? How he needs to present himself is the same as Jacopo and Didier. Jacopo uses that as a shield to do all sorts of horrible stuff, or to not think about things. And I hope you'll allow me to wish for the same. I love you, Michelle. My dear little brother. Upon those words, Didier's phantom begins fading away. A white mist almost looks like a made of undulating particles of light rises up around him, and before he's completely enveloped, I catch a glimpse of tears streaking his cheeks. And it's the first time I've ever seen him cry. I attempt to give him a smile in return, but if I were to guess, I'd say it probably looked rather forced. The fact that I'm fighting back tears at the same time certainly isn't doing anything to make it convincing. Before he's completely faded away, I wrap my arms around my brother's shoulders, much like he did for me the day of my exile. Not as an eternal farewell, but as a promise that we'll meet again. Didier, Georg. Right now in this moment, I have no regrets about having been born a Bollinger. All I have is a great pride. So I pray that one day, be it 10 or 1,000 years from now, the three of us can be reunited. I've got a number of things going through my mind right now. Morgana. I'm just not sure how to put any of it into words. Don't worry, those words say everything. You can cry if you want. I won't mock you, I promise. No, I won't cry. I'll save my tears for our reunion. Oh, that painting. They didn't have to get itself destroyed. It'll be fine, I'm sure. I have faith. As you know quite well, wishes do come true. Would you mind giving me a hand, Morgana? I'm going to need a little help getting back up. After a moment's pause, she hesitantly extends her fleshless hand. I clasp the bones and with her aid, pull myself to my feet, blood spurting from my gut as I do. There's not much in the way of pain, strangely. Only creeping exhaustion. I feel like my legs will give out if I so much as give them a chance. Leading a Morgana, we make our way back to the entrance. You're not going to disappear, are you? Don't worry, Morgana. I won't disappear. Alright. Let's open the door together. Bring light into this world of darkness. Move forward. Start anew, brighter. Let's. I take in a deep breath. Look up at the door. My eyes on the future. It's time to open the door. Not to an ending, but the door to a new beginning. May the world that awaits us be filled with light. Immersed in your blinding light, we press onward. It's white in all directions, not the tiny speck of color to contaminate it. In fact, the concept of directions doesn't seem to exist in this world. Only a pure, never-ending white. Actually, no. That's not right, now that I consider it. I was thinking white is the absence of color. But white, the color, fills this plane. It's all disappearing. We made the right choice, didn't we? Yes, this is how it's meant to be. You're a rather impressive man, I hope you realize. Not only did you free 3 trapped souls, you also saved your brother. I didn't do any of that alone. Without help, I doubt I would have made it this far. I'd have shattered yet again until nothing was left. And Giselle gave you that strength. She did. So what, you're going to wait here for him? I am. In that condition, I won't let myself disappear before she's made it back. Do you remember the warning I gave you in the mansion? About how if a soul is damaged and destroyed, it's wholly and utterly erased from existence? Never to return in any shape or form. If you lose much more blood, that's what will happen to you. You'll be erased forever. Don't worry, I won't let that happen. You push yourself too hard, Michelle. I feel like you're hurt in some way almost every time I see you. Though I suppose about half of that would be my doing. You may have caused me some pain, but I also wouldn't be here without you. What? I mean it. If you say so. Besides, I've practically never seen you hurt too. I suppose so. Whatever form your soul may assume in your next life, I'll be praying there's far less pain in it for you. This is why I'll never get along with you. Always concerned about others. Can I ask you something? If you were to be born again, would you want it to be in a fully male body? That's what I've always wanted, so yes, I would. In your next life, if you have one, do you want to see Giselle again? Absolutely, I do. And what if you could only have one or the other? Which would you choose? Do you even need to ask? No, I suppose not. You know, I'm neither a witch nor a saint. Just an ordinarily powerless soul now. So my wishes aren't likely to cause any more miracles. But I think I'll wish for something anyway. For what? Not telling. Well, I'll be off then. Alright. I didn't think it'd be so difficult to come with parting words. You can say whatever you like. The first thing that comes to your mind is fine. Okay. I'll say you do the same thing I said to them. Farewell, Michelle. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Farewell indeed. If, however, if by some infinitesimally low chance, we do happen to meet again, would you be my friend? Morgana? Absolutely, I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm not a nice person, you know. I'm nothing like the white-haired girl. I'm sure to be off-putting, rude, to cause you much grief and pain. Don't worry, I'm resilient enough to handle a little pain without pulling away. You're fine as you are. You don't need to change. So let's meet up in our next lives and become good friends. Not good friends, not acquaintances either. Just plain friends, alright? Understood? Understood. I'm rather looking forward to it. Now this is goodbye for real. So I suppose I'll part with some uncharacteristic honesty. I'm glad to have had you in my life, Michelle. And thank you for everything. Morgana. Farewell. Until our souls cross paths once more. It's so quiet. So unbelievably desolate. Giselle, you endured centuries waiting for me to return. I'll wait right here. For as long as I must. Everything just fading. I can feel the mansion, that gathering place for departed, fading away. I did it, Giselle. I broke the curse. I cast off the darkness. I saved Morgana, and all the other souls trapped there. Couldn't have done it without you. I miss you, Giselle. All I want is to see your face, to hear your voice, to feel your warmth, to tell you how much I love your smile. Where are you, Giselle? I know I said I wouldn't let myself disappear until you came back, and I'm wishing with all my might for my body to hold out, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. I'm coming to realize as I grow weaker that the will of one man is nothing in the face of the will of the universe. Where are you, Giselle? I can't see you anywhere. I can see right through my hands, Giselle. My lower body's already gone, and the rest of it is following. I hope you'll still be able to find it, even without a body. I've lost my voice now, Giselle. I don't have much left to lose. I'm dissolving into the light. Say my name, Giselle. I want to hear you say my name. I'm here, waiting for you. Where are you, Giselle? Am I making it through to you even a little? I need you. I can't allow myself to disappear until you've returned. Giselle. Michelle. Finally, I found you. I'm sorry it took so long. Don't worry, Michelle. Don't worry, Michelle. I know that's you. I'll always be able to recognize you no matter what. You don't have to be afraid. I wouldn't have made it out of it if it weren't for you, Michelle. A ray of light reached down deep into the darkness, all the way down to where I was lost. It was a light more radiant than I've ever seen. So much so I couldn't hold back my tears. You fought so very hard. You broke the mansion's curse, released it from the darkness. I was right about you. You are strong. Immeasurably so. Can you hear me there, Michelle? I'm sorry for keeping you waiting so long, for letting you deteriorate like this. But thank you. Thank you for waiting. It's time for us to return back to our rightful place. So please, Michelle, don't disappear on me. Don't let your soul's flame be extinguished. I beg you, keep holding on. There's still so much I need to tell you. I want to hear your voice. I want you to feel your arms around me once more. I don't care when, as long as I can have that someday. So that means I need you to not disappear on me. Michelle. I believe in you, Michelle. I believe you're still there, that you're still holding on. So I ask that one day you'll come and take my hand again. And that's the house in Fata Morgana. Age of death, 27. 21. 16. I'm not sure what there's left to be said. Yeah, just the high notes just stretch. Hmm. Hello? Anybody in there? Class about to start. Last I checked, the teacher never came in through the window. Oh, right, just a second. You've been doing a lot lately, just staring out the window. You been watching for something or just spacing out? There's this girl who's usually out here around this time every day. Right over there, see her? Ah, that one. Looks like she goes to the junior high a few streets down. That's what I thought. But look at her hair, that flaxen color. It's almost the exact same color as mine. Can't get her out of my mind. Oh, really? If you're that interested, why not go have a chat sometime? I don't know. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Obviously, gotta go with the old classic. Hey, baby, wanna get some ice cream and hang out? That sounds like a great way to get slapped. I'm not trying to pick her up. You're lying to yourself, man. No, I don't know, like, I'm curious, that's all. I'm curious what makes your head work, because it sure ain't what everyone else's runs on. Now get on moving, it's almost time for class. Wait, I'm coming. Wonder what her name is. Hey, did you hear about the new ice cream shop that just opened up down by the bus stop? I did. Oh, I hear the mint is super good too. Oh, now I want to try it. What'd you say? Want to go check it out? Let's go. Get some of that mint with a big pile of chocolate chips on the top. Oh, I know, I'll get a double scoop. Oh, that sounds amazing. I'm going to get a double too. I bet the line's going to be crazy. We better get going or... Ah. What is it? There's a cute boy who goes to that school there. I think we just locked eyes for a second. Oh, what's he look like? A prince. A prince? Seriously? Yo, don't you make fun of princes now. You're not 9, you're 14. And you still haven't grown out of your fairy tale face? Like, oh my god. Just you wait, one of these days I'll make a real prince, and then you won't be laughing anymore. Like you'd ever be able to get a real prince's attention. Hey, that's not very nice. Jerk, blockhead, meanie. Come on, let's get going. Oh, fine. I'll show you one day. That is my prince. We couldn't be any luckier to have a talented engineer like yourself assigned to our branch. You give me too much credit, sir. You don't give yourself enough credit. I've seen your record, and you come highly recommended from HU. Got high hopes for you. The higher your hopes, the greater the fallout when I make a mistake, which frightens me. What you call a mistake is what we generally refer to as a great accomplishment. I don't think I've ever met anyone as close to a perfect human being as you. I'm far, far from perfect. You Japanese really are a humble lot, aren't you? uh, what is it? I thought I saw a woman I recognized. We get a lot of tourists from your parts of the world around here. She's not Japanese. No, I must have been imagining it. This is my first time in France, after all. The art museum. Shopping? How can you take a vacation to France and not want to see the art? We were there all day yesterday. You agreed before we left today would be a shopping day. That was before I realized how big it was. Just how many beautiful paintings they had on display. There's no way one day is enough to see it all. One whole day of my vacation bored out of my skull. Not like you can eat the stuff, so what's good about it anyway? Oh, please. How about this? We go to a different museum, just no art this time. What kind of museum if you don't want to look at art? A torture museum. I think I hate you. Oh, lighten up. You tell me you don't want to see centuries of torture devices from all around the world? Absolutely not. Then we stick to the plan and we go shopping. Oh, have it your way. But you didn't have to be so. Watch out behind you. What? Ah, god damn it, that hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. Learn to where you're watching, why don't you? And if you're so desperate to make a damn ruckus, go find a cafe somewhere out there. All the way. Well, excuse me. I apologized, didn't I? No need to be such a dickwad. Have you ever heard of talking, or is yelling the only thing you're capable of? This is why I can't stand tourists. Have some damn consideration for the people who aren't here to just fool around. For the love of God. The hell's got your panties in? And he's gone. That sure was something. Something's right. An insufferable asshole, more like it. Burn in hell, motherfucker. That's it, I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. Nah, it's just your imagination. You there, paper. Oh, good lord, the stock market is a damn mess. Oh, what a nightmare. Tourists don't know how to shut up, the French are a bunch of stuck-up snobs. The pizza's awful, nobody knows how to make spaghetti. Maybe I should just pack up my bags and forget it all. What the hell is this? An article about the human voice? Scientists are studying the effects that certain frequencies in the human voice will have on the brain. Get this mumbo jumbo out of the paper, my god. Save it for some paranormal or science magazine. Back to the stocks page. Jacopo, still as garbage as ever. Damn it, the wind caught my hat. What is wrong with today? I believe this is yours. Oh, yeah. Thank you. The pleasure is mine. Have a nice... Hold on a second. Yes? First of all, before I say anything, I'm not trying to hit on you. Don't get the wrong idea. Now, have we met before? We have, yes. When and where? A long, long time ago. Much too long for you to remember. Excuse me? Our paths crossed in a mansion many, many years ago. I'm glad to see you haven't changed a bit. I'm not particularly in the mood for jokes or supernatural nonsense today. I'm quite serious. One more question. Do we have any shared acquaintances? We do, yes. Though I could not say whether she is here or not. Hopefully you have a chance to cross paths with her. I too am looking for someone. Have a good day, sir. Yeah, goodbye. There are memories. Memories ingrained in my soul. Over the years, they've grown gradually more distinct. And now, at the age of 21, I remember everything. Were I to tell this to anyone, they would think me mad. So I've kept it to myself my whole life. I remember many ages ago there was a mansion. There I met and lost someone dear to me. There I waited for him to return. I remember all the centuries I spent waiting. And I remember, he almost lost his soul trying to save me. I am once again waiting for him. I am making my way to where the mansion once stood. A single red rose in hand. A rose containing all my hopes, my dreams, my love. A prayer that it might one day reach you. Roses make wonderful gifts after all. I probably sound like I'm out of my mind. Waiting for a man who exists only in my memories. A man who in my 21 years of life, I never even once caught a glimpse of. But that doesn't matter. Because I know how much he means to me. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I will wait. I will trust the memories burned into my soul. I don't know when he'll show up. Or if he even will. Maybe we'll never meet in this life. Maybe I'll wait until I've grown old and died. But should that happen, I'll continue waiting for you in my next life. And the one after that if I have to. I'll always be waiting, no matter how long it may take. How great the obstacles that stand in my way, or whatever form you may assume. I'll wait as long as it takes. Another 100, another 1,000 years. So promise me you'll come back to me. Michelle. It's interesting seeing where everyone was. Because none of it tells you that they're gonna avoid the fate that, you know, the same mistakes they made in their previous lives, the same mistakes they always make. Nothing tells you they've truly changed as people. That their situations are so different as to fix everything. But there's always just a little bit. With the way how Nellie and Mel are not related, or at least don't know they are. There's enough room for all of them, for them to still manage to fix it all. It's Jacopo who hates Paris. Yukimasa is like, this is my first time here. It's okay. Uh, I'm busy trying to be, just like the most perfect worker architect. The idea of Yukimasa just going, just pulling an American Psycho is really funny. But they gotta believe that there's some worth in going through the past again, to renegotiate it, to go through it, to think through it. Even as traumatic as it was, that, that they can actually move on. Don't worry. You don't have to wait any longer. Giselle, I'm here for you. There are memories. Memories ingrained in my soul. I remember there once stood a mansion here, in which many tragedies took place, in which great pain was suffered. Much of what happened in those walls was unspeakable, but they are events I should have never forgotten, because amidst all the misfortune, I attained something irreplaceable. Giselle, there's so much I have to say, so much I want you to know, but I'm sure I'll have plenty of time to get to all that. So for the time being, allow me to say this. Giselle, your smile is the light of my life. I want to spend my days with you, with that smile always at my side, and nothing to get in our ways. I... It's sweet and sappy, but I fucking love it. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I ask of thee, Father, to bestow upon their souls thy blessing. I love those two. They deserve the world. Its artwork, its music, just everything about its production, and most importantly, its characters, its story, the way it interweaves itself, its thematics, it all just works beautifully together. And the fact is, it just hits so hard emotionally. So, before we call it, let's... Oh, yeah. To be fair, VNs are pretty famous for playing with the conventions of VNs. I think playing with the convention of VNs is kind of a convention of VNs. So, right before we stop, let's have a little... there's a little bonus episode packed away in this. So let's just play through it. Just a little back behind the scenes, just seeing, right? Just a fun little thing. But before that, I want to say thank you all for joining me for this. Fata Morgana is one of the most important VNs, to me, one of the most important video games I've ever played. It's just so important. It's so good. Yeah, this... Excuse me, what are you doing here? Yes, you! I wish I knew how all these uninvited souls keep finding their way to my mansion. Well, never mind that for now. The fact that you're here means you uncovered all the mansion's mysteries, yes? My congratulations for having the fortitude to endure such a grim tale. I would ask what you thought of it, but unfortunately that is beyond even my powers. Since you're here, though, how would you like to take a little tour of the house? That's if you're willing to take this hand. You've got a strong stomach, at least. Before we begin our little trek, I'd like to emphasize that this, as the title applies, a look behind the curtains of the House in Forgotten Morgana. You just completed the game and would like some time to dwell on it. You're welcome to head back now. But should you choose to continue, I encourage you to do so, knowing what you are about to read does not in any way respect the tone of the game proper. You'll be making your way into the heads of the staff themselves, and I promise you, it's not a pretty sight. You'll see people who shouldn't be here, things that contradict the events of the games, a general sense of pandemonium. You do best not to think much of any of it. Yeah, and everyone, just while I'm playing this, just feel free to talk about this and anything about the ending. Yeah. The fact is, so much of it relies on inner monologue and getting into the characters' heads and then re-examining stuff afterwards. First from without their perspective and then with their perspective, right? That doing that in a non-prose form becomes very difficult and time-consuming. Not because I have anything particular against you, of course. I simply think that it would be inappropriate for him to not accompany us. Yes, him, the story's protagonist. Let us be off then. I found another split end. Look, this one's split into 3. I don't know why you're so excited about split ends. If my hair's such a mess, maybe I should just cut it all off. I'm not particularly attached to having long hair. Not sure how I feel about that idea. Quite enjoy playing with your hair myself. Says the woman who once called me a hair monster. I didn't actually mean that. I was just, a little overwhelmed at the time, but how unexpectedly handsome you were. But I couldn't bring myself to say it. I hope you two sickening lovebirds spontaneously combust. Hey, what was that for? And be careful what you wish for, quite literally. We might actually go up in flames. How long have you been standing there, Morgana? As the true master of this house, I'm everywhere at all times. Even in the bathrooms. Don't worry, when I was in a position, I closed my eyes, plugged my ears when you were doing your business. I think that's enough Twilight humor for the time being. Especially in front of our guest. You're the one who brought it up. Wait, what guest? Oh, so you can't see the soul beside me. That's quite a shame. Could they be who was watching over us? I'd better give them my thanks then. Unfortunately, I can't see you there, but either way, thank you very much for accompanying us to the end of our story. Come on, Michelle, you thank them too. Thanks. You're the protagonist. Surely you can do better than that. Could you really consider me the protagonist? What, did you hit your head and lose your memory again? I just never really seemed that way to me. I can understand that. You didn't become an active participant in the story until the end of chapter 4, Michelle. In some ways, you could call the first 4 chapters an extended prologue. But once you reclaimed yourself, you're most definitely playing the protagonist. Especially the final chapter. You had me swooning by the end. Sure. I wanted to bring Michelle with me, and only Michelle. Oh, what about me? Because with you around, he turns into a lovesick, airheaded dope. He's about as useful to me as a wet paper sack full of potatoes. Come on now, get moving. Are you sure I can't come with you? Absolutely not. You spoil him in more ways than one. What are we going to do then? What do you think, my dear? What any respectable behind-the-scenes extras would do, of course. We're going to visit each room in the mansion and faff about like a bunch of fools. That sounds a lot like spend 1,000 lines talking about trash about Michelle to me. I seem to recall plenty of faffing about in the main game anyway. Why don't we do something we couldn't do there? I've just the thing. Here, there's cue cards. Cue cards. They got profiles and other miscellaneous notes from the creators about each of the characters. I thought they might come in handy. I can see them being useful, yes, but why exactly do you have those? Apparently it's the maid's job to give the star of the show his notes. Is that a fact? If I'm not mistaken, the maid had cue cards in the other extra as well. I'd rather pretend those miniaturized things were not actually us. Can't help feel, but the creatures are screwing with us on some level. Actually, since we're here, maybe we should start with the 2 of you before we head out. I'll read your profile, Michelle. I doubt you'd want to do it yourself, would you? Hand over the cue cards. Alright, now let's begin. The pathetic long-haired man is, believe it or not, the protagonist of the House of Fata Morgana. See, I told you this was how it would go. You can't deny a lot of readers probably didn't expect the creepy white-haired recluse to turn out to be the main character. According to this, 2 of the creators' goals for this game were to subvert readers' expectations, cast a new light on old information the further you progress through the story. You 2 are probably the most obvious examples of that. Don't forget about yourself, Morgana. Even before the focal point of the game, my story was revealed. There were examples of lines or events taking on new meaning as each of the first 3 chapters developed. Though perhaps there are some people whose interpretations did not change through the course of the tales. That is true. At first, Mel seemed like a fairly likable young man, but by the end of his chapter, he revealed himself as a helplessly worthless child. The second chapter was pretty crazy too. When we found about, ukulele, that was it. No, that's not how you pronounce his name. As I recall, it's eucalyptus. You already made that joke. Let it go, please. The creature doesn't need a name, just call him the beast. Chapter 3 was something else too. My impression of Jacopo and Maria were completely turned around by the end. At the end of the chapter, you learn what kind of man he really was. Which then ties into the revelations in the final chapter. Piles of hot human garbage, the 3 of them. But we'll go into more detail about them later. Right now, it's Michelle's turn. The core aspects of his character are justice and righteousness. What? Why are you looking at me like just the sky is purple? I wasn't expecting something so flattering to come out your mouth. Nor do I really think of myself that way. I'm hardly a paragon of virtue. That's true. Putting a knife to a woman's neck isn't very righteous. My sincerest apologies. You had your reasons, I know. But it was pretty terrifying at the time. I don't hold it against you. Anyway, while those are core aspects of your character, they got buried over the course of the abuse and misfortune you suffered throughout the story. Your circumstances in life forced you to repress yourself. Once you were free from those restrictions in the final chapter, you were able to act as the man you truly are. Or something to that effect. I'd say it was Giselle's influence more than anything that got me through the final chapter. Like I said in the game, I couldn't have done it on my own. I'm glad I can be of assistance. I really need to peel these two apart. We'll never finish if they keep making goo-goo eyes at each other every 10 seconds. If that's what's for my character, then it's one thing I can't wrap my head around. And what would that be? How all the promotional material portrays me. The staff had a fondness for being misleading, the writer especially. Take my portrayal in the demos backstage extra. What was that all about? Well, it was the demo. I'm sure they just didn't want to spoil the surprise. It was fun calling you my whipping boy too. And your patrols make sense if we assume Michelle there was from when it was just the two of us living in the mansion. You were pretty damaged at that point. Which is largely my fault, I suppose. In any event, the promotional materials are already out there, so nothing you can do about it. You are, for all intents and purposes, officially a NEET. Oh, now that game's over, I got a couple things I'd like to get off my chest. And what would those be? I never wanted to be a recluse. Well said. Well said indeed. Also, I never wanted to die a virgin. Well said. Well said indeed. I must say it must be rather irreverent to joke about either of those knowing what we know now. Well, we're not the ones writing. We'll just say what we're told to. Regardless, I can't say I'm completely satisfied, but I'm happy enough my story was adequately explained in the game itself. I'm genuinely impressed you can be happy about any of your story considering the kind of hell you're put through. There were how many dead ends? And you took quite the beating on more than one occasion. And a lot of that does fall on my head, I suppose. The ending was perfect, though. So yes, I'm happy. Please, for the love of all that's holy, stop smiling. I can't see it as anything but pitiful. Why? Because in the story, you're the king of misfortune. Oh, that reminds me, there's something on your profile even more crucial than your core justice and righteousness. You were apparently born under an unlucky star. I know exactly what about Gaunt you're thinking about too. Why must the universe be so cruel to me? Well, I am the queen of misfortune, so perhaps they just wanted someone else to be as miserable as me. Giselle had it pretty bad too. What, you think so? I don't think I had nearly as bad as that, Ray. You spent centuries completely and utterly broken. That's all in the past, though. I'm back to my old self now, and that's enough for me. You're not naturally skilled at whitewashing the past. In fact, the both of you far too forgiving. Although I suppose that's why you end up as the hero and heroine of the story. But I'm still the anti-hero. You said that like it's something to be proud of. Well, that about covers the main characters, Michelle. In conclusion, he's a 27-year-old man with his head in the clouds, who talks like a character out of a bad fairy tale. What happened to that all about justice and righteousness? Why couldn't you conclude with that? He also has no sense of humor, doesn't realize that they're the exact same thing. Could you try not buttering me up only to tear me back down again? Even the inverse would be preferable. And to top it all, he's completely incompetent when it comes to romance. I knew it. I knew this was how it was going to go. I'd rank you being made fun of number 2 in terms of when you're most interesting, Michelle. Gee, thanks. That makes me feel so much better. Yeah, but if anyone wants to talk about anything regarding the story or while it's ending, I'm just playing this to give time to, go through and go over stuff. Now, since we seem to have fallen back into our usual routine, let's move on to Giselle, shall we? But me next? Oh, I've got butterflies in my stomach. And here we have, believe it or not, the heroine of this game. What's so hard to believe about that? Tell me, would you ever have mentioned the maid with the creepy laugh was once this bubbly ball of energy? I'd rather not think about my time as the maid. Can't say I blame you. Your mind was complete mush at the time. If you allow me to say, the maid outfit was quite eye-catching. Hold your tongue, my dear. Now I have to ask, Giselle, where in the world did you pick up those laughably flowery speech patterns? Are you sure you want to know? Is there any reason I wouldn't? I picked it up from you, Morgana. Excuse me. Like when you're really ripping into someone, Morgana, you kinda start talking like a character in a stage play. You're calling me theatrical? Would you take that back? So the maid's speech patterns were modeled after Morgana's, huh? No, it definitely makes sense considering the tone of the 4th chapter. Don't you be talking about me even in your head? Not a word. Regardless, my speech pattern and the maid share nothing in common. And you're terrible human beings for so much as suggesting it. What are you smirking about? Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that human Morgana's kinda incredibly adorable. Oh, you're blushing. Look at her. She's blushing. Oh, be quiet. Are you going to stand by and watch as your girlfriend insults me like this, Michelle? I would agree if you ask me. You are pretty adorable right now. It's like 2 teeny little tiny tomatoes are growing on your face. I am not blushing, and if the 2 of you don't back off, I'll cast a curse on your souls for all eternity. That seems a bit excessive. We seem to have gone off track. Let's take a look at Giselle's profiles now, shall we? I can't imagine there's much written there. You obviously aren't a very good judge of your own character then. No sane person would spend centuries waiting for a man they only need for a year. It isn't the amount of time we were together that matters. Besides, it was more complicated than that. With how we were forced to play part ways, and there's no way I can let it end there. Also, we're bonded on a cellular level. I think I just vomited on my mouth a little. It wasn't that bad, was it? Moving on. So as you can see, Giselle has her own fair share of baggage as well, but she's an optimistic woman, proactive about moving on. Hidden behind the maid was a fairly classic heroine character. Giselle and the maid came about because one day the creator decided they really wanted to see a cheerful young woman turn into a broken husk of a human. Poor Giselle. Another thing they wanted to do with Giselle was start out with her as essentially the story's narrator, and then over the course of the game pull her out of that position and turn her into a real character. On a somewhat unrelated note, Giselle's portrayal as the maid, I suppose, outside the game was possibly worse than mine. I was practically evil in the demo's backstage scene. I'd estimate about 70% of the characters the staff tried to play off as the maid was actually Morgana. Making it sound like I'm evil now. That I will not stand for. You weren't evil, but you're definitely an antagonist for a good portion of the game. You've already established the staff gets off on being intentionally misleading, so let's just assume that's what it was and move on. Before I forget, there's one other important note on Giselle's profile that I still need to go over. Oh, what would that be? She has the largest breasts of anyone in this game. I saw that, Michelle. I saw you sneak a look. Don't think you can fool me. It's hard not to look, frankly. You guys have no idea what it's like. My shoulders are constantly stiff. It's terrible. Hold on a second. Didn't say on your profile that you prefer small boobs? I never said that. And who do you think we're going to trust here? But enough of that. That's Giselle and or the maid for you. She started out as a game seemingly full of secrets and possibly scheming something, and turned out the ideal wife material. Ideal wife material? I like the sound of that. Why does she get so much better treatment than me? The story is supposed to be at least some degree about Michelle's growth, so without Giselle around, imagine would have ended failing that goal spectacularly. Most likely. The two of us kept each other going. Now, that about sums up everything I have to say about you two, so we're going to do a little walk around the mansion. You stay here and keep yourself entertained, Giselle. I'd rather come with you. I'm staying too. No, you're coming. If you don't, I'll cast another curse on the 3 souls, or do you want all the hard work in the game to go to waste? You don't have to threaten me. Okay, fine, I'll be back shortly, Giselle. Have fun! I'll be here for you when you get back. Here, Michelle, you can have the cue cards back. It is now your job to read their profiles. Do I really have to? You might as well do something. What happened to the Michelle from the game's climax? Because right now you look like breathing is too much effort to bother with. I just don't think I'm the right person to be talking about other people's characters. You might have a point. If you don't have someone to keep you in check, you'll start defending anyone, no matter how heinous. You really ought to learn to call a sinner a sinner. Well, she had sleep for half of the game. Anyway, it's your job, understood? Ah, whatever. Let's get going then, shall we? We'll start by visiting the 3 men who instigated my curse. And I think I'll let you or a guest decide the order. Now go on, take your pick. Let's just go in the order. Off we go to see that spineless little boy. We came to pay you a visit, you spineless little boy. Hey, you show up out of nowhere, and that's how you greet me? What are you two doing in here anyway? We had to talk to you for this behind-the-scenes extra. Do you really think anyone would visit you if they had a choice? This is extra, like you said, so can we make this a pleasant affair? Also, I know you like calling me spineless, but I don't think I'm that big of a wuss. If you ask me, I'd say I handled myself pretty well around the white-haired girl by the end of Chapter 1. And I definitely put in some good work in the final chapter. I agree with you about the final chapter, but the end of the first chapter doesn't leave the best impression. Can you really blame me? How was I supposed to predict Nellie would go so far? No kidding. Go on, Michelle the Q-Heart. Share this finest little child's profile with all the world. Let's see here. It says here that the desire to be loved is one of the themes of Mel's story. His unconditional kindness for others was rooted in that desire. Could you be any more pitiful, my dear? I don't think that's a terribly unusual trait. Some people need the validation and love of others to make it through life. That's only human. See, I told you you'd start getting defensive. I don't see the point in being harsh on him in the extra as I was in the main game. On the subject of the first chapter, I have to say it really was surprisingly bright and cheerful for the most part. At least until the later parts of the chapter, things were honestly quite pleasant. I wonder how many readers at the point of the game could even imagine how brutal and dark the main story would turn out to be. Up until the second chapter began, I imagine people thought you were the game's protagonist, Mel. Not that he could have handled that kind of responsibility, of course. Let me guess, because I'm spineless. It's a question of experience. Only someone who's been through that kind of mistreatment and misfortune Michelle had would have been able to free me. Oh, I didn't know you had it that bad, Michelle. It's not something I care to talk about. To start things off, he was physically and emotionally abused by a psychopathic woman by the name of... Not another word, Morgana. Well, whatever happened, it sounded like it was rough. You have my sympathies. Getting pity from you just makes me irrationally angry. Hold still so I can give you a good whack to the jawbone. Whoa, you're defending me a dozen lines back, and now you want to hit me? You two get along oddly well, you know. There's something with Michelle that almost makes him feel like he's my age. I have a good 10 years on you. You just spent 13 years locked up in isolation from the world. It's hardly a surprise he stopped aging mentally. You were locked up for 13 years. Now I really feel bad for you. Prepare for the beating of a lifetime, boy. Why, I just said I felt bad for you. Your sympathies, by large, are ruse. Rarely ever do you genuinely mean it. That's not true. We've gotten off track. Mel is on the surface a friendly, kind-hearted young man, but he has a tendency to stumble and cower back when things get difficult, in part due to a lack of self-esteem mentioned earlier. And in the final chapter, he started off in a very difficult situation, so he was submissive and a constant source of pathetic complaining. Spineless and submissive. There's no hope for you, is there? Is Mel submissive and breedable? I think he would make a fairly respectable young man if he could overcome that weakness. The end of the final chapter was in part a result of him reaching that point. See, when push comes to shove, I come through. Have you forgotten the part where you sold me out? Sorry about that. One's environment does also have a significant effect on the behavior. Well, that about covers what's on the cue card. Oh no. Oh no, I have an idea now. We just plot a lot of the big name visual novels, When They Cry, Muv-Love, sorry, I'm blanking on Masada's stuff as well. Fata will fade, Tsukihime, the Type Moon stuff. We will all make a giant list of fucks doesn't fuck Dom sub. Oh, that would be awful. That'd be awful stream. Oh dear God. We're not. I'm not doing Euphoria, because then I'm gonna have to talk about Euphoria, and I refuse to do so. I feel like I just spent my whole time getting railed on. Well, they can blame you, I guess, considering how I acted over the course of the game. In the end, you did manage to prove a good ally, though. Thanks, I'm glad I could be of assistance. If you're trying to end this on a pleasant note, I won't have it. Him being someone helpful in an alternate version of events that never actually occurred doesn't change the fact that he gave me up like the spineless wuss he is. Oh, give him a break, would you? The game's over. This could be a different game entirely, and I would still hold it against him. Though I suppose I could be a little less incessant about it. We do have a guest, after all. Now I think it's about time we sent to see someone else. What, you're leaving already? That's unfortunate. I was hoping we could maybe go for a walk out in the sun or have a picnic together or something. So you can weaken me, and then what'll you do to me? If you suggest a walk around the lake, I'll tie a block to your feet and push you in. Farewell, Mel. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Yeah, bye, Morgana. Michelle. You want to see him? Well, whatever you like. Michelle, you go first. So I can be your meat shield again. We came to pay you a visit, you psychopathic monster. Is that what I am? A psychopath? If nothing else, you most certainly a character in this game that poses the most danger to the other. If nothing else, you're most certainly the character in this game that poses the most danger to the others. That's fair. Most of the dead ends were on me as well. You really need to learn to show some regard for human life. I just lose control of myself. There's nothing I can do about it. This is murder we're talking about here. Do something about it. Of all the characters in the game, he was the most dramatically two-faced. The illustrations in the second chapter were honestly quite shy. I felt terrible for Pauline. So what brings you two here? It's behind the scenes extra, so we're here to discuss you as a character. The staff even provided us with notes. I see. Do you not think the setting's worth talking about at all then? You want to talk about the setting? You, the Japanese guy who barged in out of nowhere in what was supposed to be a gothic suspense horror game? Out of curiosity, were you also Japanese in the final chapter? I couldn't tell you. I don't have most of my memories. What does the staff have to say about that? From somewhere in Asia. That's incredibly vague. That said, there's apparently a reason for this ambiguity. The main theme of your story is boundaries, it says. Oh wow, I was expecting madness or brutality, or beasts or multiple personalities. I don't actually have multiple personalities. It's just an act. That's nothing to gloat about, my dear. Anyway, it says here you're a character that straddles a number of different boundaries. Sanity, madness, humanity, barbarity, faithfulness, and infidelity. Faithfulness and infidelity. I committed no infidelity. I never slept with a white-haired girl. Only because all you need in a relationship is peace and a tether. You have a point. If you can see that point rather easily. And once you cross one of those boundaries, you quickly lose control of yourself. You really are a strange man, you know that. You weren't quite so bad in the final chapter, but in the second it was almost unbelievable how downright maniacal you got. I expect my curse had some influence there, though. On that note, it also says here that the writer thought Chapter 2 seemed unusually long, until they realized it was no small part thanks to Yukimasa's cackling. At least you are having fun. Of everyone, I'd say I'm probably most worried about how you turned out after the ending. I swore I would resist the temptation. I doubt that stopped you from laughing like a madman as you strangled puppies and smashed kitten skulls. God, I wish I could be human. Sounds like some twisted version of Pinocchio. Once the reveal finally happened, it was almost hilarious how vapid the merchant's character became. Like when you told Pauline, perhaps my adoration has grown so strong it turned you into transcendent beauty, like Cleopatra herself. Women like to hear such things about themselves. You're terrible. And then you went and killed one of your crewmates out at sea and told Pauline, no, there was no trouble when you got back. You're as black-hearted as they come. You don't have to tell me. I'm aware. That's an odd point to get snippy over. He had no concern whether he's good or a bad man, only whether he's a man or a beast. Again, I'm aware. I really hope I never run into him again outside the extras. Next to the rest of the cast, it's oddly refreshing how forward you are about your atrociousness, despite being so much worse than any of them. It almost makes me think you're so hopeless it's not even worth bothering. That doesn't mean I'll forgive you, of course. At least give Pauline a good life, please. That's not exactly reassuring. I will do what I can. You know, for all you smile around Pauline, you're about as stone-faced as Michelle around everyone else. In fact, I'd say Michelle had you beat in the final chapter. We all know this man's smile. We all know his smile's fake, though. Indeed, it's only ever been for Pauline. No one else. Both in the second chapter and the final chapter. Maybe we should rename you the Masked Man. That makes him sound like a superhero. You do your best, my dear, and try to blend into society. Now, I think we spent more than enough time with this beast, so let's be off, shall we? You're leaving. Goodbye, Angel. And goodbye, Witch. How many times do I have to tell you I'm not an angel? And for what it's worth, I'm not a witch any longer either. So I'm the only non-human left in the cast, then. How unfortunate. Someone really needs to do something about him. There's nothing anyone can do but leave him be. Farewell, Yukimasa. Until their souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Farewell. Oh, you want to see him, do you? Well, if that's what you want, I suppose I can take you. Why, hello there. How's your fragile male ego holding up? And this is the line that started a huge Twitter harassment campaign against the translator. While the author and the other developers were like, no, this line's great. We think it works better than the original one. Because originally she called him as Sundere. But they were like, no, this cuts a bit more deeply and gets to the heart of it and is a very good translation. Yes, this line caused a huge harassment campaign from people who did not play the visual novel, but who heard about this and were like, wait, it's supposed to say Sundere there. People inserting their politics into my video games, ignoring the entire rest of this visual novel. I'm genuinely glad to see you. However, I must ask, why did you bring him along with you? Why do you never come to see me alone? About as well as I see. I mean, you're only the best. In fact, there's a great deal I still need to. And you wonder why I don't want to see you. You got pathetic real quick after the final chapter ended, huh? Damn it, why'd you even see that man? He's just a filthy Frenchman with disgustingly long hair. The hair's one thing, but I can't change where I was born. Not a single damn good thing has ever come out of France. Some say French is one of the 3 great cuisines of this world, but any one of the functional types, Italian is vastly superior. One of the three great cuisines of the world? Honestly, if I were to say, like, overall just the 3 best cuisines, like, just out of personal opinion, it would have to be, like, without getting into, like, very specific in-depth, and still getting to relatively common ones, it'd be, like, definitely, like, Indian, Chinese, Mexican. They call themselves a part of the civilized world, when in reality they're just a bunch of stuck-up snobs. It's good. Italian is good. Food from all over the world is good. But, some of us love to fawn over... Oh god damn it, I cannot read that. Fancy wine, but I tell you the wine my country produces is a far higher quality. He's being such a smug asshole. Stunned to silence in the face of immutable truth, are you? I hope you get lost in the Louvre and starve to death, you bigoted prick. Oh, look at that. You hurt his feelings, Michelle. I swear he's definitely running for most obnoxious character in the game. So what brings you two here? We're here to discuss your character as part of this behind-the-scenes extra. Although I do think Fragile Masculinity does a wonderful job describing you. You like to make a big show of things, but the reality is, if you had simply swallowed your pride for 2 seconds and said what you really felt, told the truth, almost all this could have been avoided. It's nigh unbearable watching you flounder around like a buffoon. Almost feel bad for him. Almost. I think you probably chatted him enough, Morgana. He was kinda caught between a rock and... Shut your mouth, Frenchman. I don't need you to defend me. All I wanted from you is to know why you're with Morgana. You do realize he's a rosy-eyed romantic, don't you, Morgana? You saw him swooning over some silly spring snow for God knows how many lines. Are you telling me that whole exchange wasn't gag-inducing? Seriously, why him? You really are insufferable. I love how the writers just know these people might not necessarily deserve forgiveness, redemption, etc. And some of them, particularly Jackpo, are utterly insufferable. Seeing a man so overcome with jealousy is just sad. God damn it, you just don't get it. I won't deny Michelle's a bit of a romantic, but he also probably wouldn't lock someone in a tower and throw away any chance he might have had at redemption. So I'd say he's preferable to any of you. Is preferable really the best I can manage? Furthermore, I do not have feelings of that variety for him. Michelle and I were... GODs. We're what now? We are those who have been graced by overflowing divinity. We share a special connection, one you could never hope to achieve. More like going overboard on drollery. Okay, well, I've had my fun. Let's make our way to another room, shall we? Wait, hold up. What happened to discussing my character? The cue card I was given for you is blank. What? It couldn't be. I'm joking, yes? You're kind of an asshole, you know. Yes, because you're one to talk. It says here that fundamentally Jacopo is pure of heart. Though he acts proud and egotistical, he actually feels a great deal of debt and responsibility to those who allowed him to reach his position of power. He generally means well, but he has great difficulty actually communicating his feelings. You know I have a right to get on my case about the communication problem, Frenchman. Yours are on a very, very different level. So, there's something I've begun to notice. Your character's a little too similar to mine. You and I are both pure-hearted types, and we were both born into less than ideal circumstances. But that's not where I take the real issue. To start with, we talk too much alike. You try to act a little more polite around others, but on your own, your voice is uncomfortably similar to mine. But I showed up before you in the game, and you know what that means, don't you? You're the copycat. I can't deal with this right now. And besides, I first appeared at the end of Chapter 2 before you were introduced. Ha, my logic is infallible. Your voice en naturel is actually more childish than you present yourself. Or didn't you think I wasn't somehow aware of the fact? You just had to bring that up, didn't you? You could try dropping the tough guy act. You're not actually attractive at all? It's not actually attractive at all? Well, if you insist, I suppose I could. Let's go. Wait, I didn't even get a sentence in and you're leaving. May our souls never cross paths again in the boundless feet of fate. No, let them, damn it! That covers the 3 perpetrators. Next one will visit to those who were close to them. About that, there's something I've been wondering. And what that might be. They weren't directly involved in anything that happened to you, yet they still seem to have been made guilty by association. That's true. None of them did anything to me specifically. I have no intention of apologizing, though. Morgana apologizing. There's a scene I can't imagine for the life of me. That said, I will try to go easy on them. I doubt I could come up with much to berate them for. I would appreciate that. Let us be off, then. So you want to see that rambunctious little girl, do you? Well, that's your choice to make. Ah, it's the Saintess and my second brother. Have you come to play? I have all sorts of card games to choose from. If you'd like, I'd even make you some tea. Go on, pick a game. Let's play something. No, we're not here to play. Morgana seems rather uncomfortable. Well, you're not... Psh. What brings you here, then? We're paying all the major characters in the game a visit for a behind-the-scenes extra. You were next on the list. Also, I love how there's a bunch of just little characterization things, like Jacopo faking his voice, which I somehow remembered and managed to do, I think, though my voice acting is kinda garbo. That it does. Surely everyone already knows everything they need to know about me. I'm the most adorable princess in all the land. I'd like to know how your head works, that you can say things like that about yourself without even blinking. You're pretty yourself, now that your face is better. She just can't seem to take control of the conversation. I'll say it rather surprised me to hear you say that. Well, why? You were rather brutal to the white-haired girl in Chapter 1, so I assumed that was how you were with Allmoon. I only had problems with her because she hooked up with my dearest Mel. Anyone who tries to get close to my Mel must be exterminated. The poor white-haired girl didn't stand a chance. You're not interested in my Mel like that, are you, Saintess? The only thing I'm interested in doing your brother is cursing him for all eternity. No, don't curse Mel. I don't care about the Lord or his bodyguard. Leave Mel out of it. I have to wonder, what exactly do you see in that spineless run? He's handsome and kind, just like a prince. How superficial. If those are your only criteria, this white-haired giant would qualify too, wouldn't he? What? No, he couldn't be my prince. Michelle will never give me a rose necklace or tell me how adorable I am or smile at me. What kind of prince is that? Mostly because I'd be trying to avoid earning your excessive affection. I'm not sure how I feel about being berating for not making the same mistakes, Mel. So let's move on to Nellie's profile then. So as well as you can see, her character largely boils down to excessively adores her older brother. You need to take those rose-tinted goggles off, girlie. Hey, I do not, and you make it sound like my adoration's a bad thing. She's a self-centered young girl with generally overflowing with energy, but also struggling with her status as noble. The final chapter is perhaps a better representation of what it was like for her. How, while she appeared to be quite blessed in many ways, that's not actually the case. I wonder if you seem less obnoxious in the final chapter than the first, because you were sickly and been forced into poverty. The last thing I care about is stuffy parties. I can't stand dancing with boys I don't even like, and all that hand-kissing stuff was so stupid, makes my head hurt. Crap, I can kinda sympathize with her on that. It's not all terrible, though. I probably would have been a bit less snippy in the first chapter if I didn't have to deal with that jerkwad on. What kind of person would you prefer to them? My Mel. Why did I even ask? Although if it's just for a dance partner, I could settle for Michelle. Let's dance right here, right now. Attend your princess like a proper princess. I don't even know how to dance. Give it a try. I'm sure it'll be loads of fun. For you, maybe. Are you saying you won't dance for me? You're a terrible brother, jerkbutt. It's not you I won't dance with anyone. Not only do I not know how, I have little interest. You're no fun. You're no fun at all. Because I refuse to be your plaything? If you won't dance with me, then we'll have to do something else. We already know your singing is bad enough to make someone go deaf, Michelle, so maybe the Saintess could sing for us instead. You want me to sing? I'm sure it'll be great. You have a beautiful voice. I actually wouldn't mind hearing that. That I think she'll do it. Okay, then, as you wish. Wait, you're actually going to sing? Would you rather I didn't? I didn't say that. I didn't expect that you would. Yeah, I'm so excited. You sit down here next to me, Michelle. We'll listen together. Morgana, you brainwashed Nelly. That shouldn't have happened. It was a regular hymn. You underestimate how much effect your voice has on people. Then maybe you should have stopped me. I underestimated it, too. Feeling kind of spacey myself. Nelly, hey, Nelly, come back to us now. Doesn't seem to be working. She'll be a zombie for a few more hours at least. Damn. Let's move on, shall we? You're just going to leave her like this? You expect us to keep our guests here waiting, watching her doing nothing? She'll be fine. Okay. Take care, Nelly. And then it drops, and then we cut it right there. But it's so ominous. You want to see her, do you? Well, she's harmless, so why not? Let us be off, then. Oh, hello there. It's nice to see the two of you. Two of you. What are we doing out here? I was thinking about the ocean, and next thing I knew, I was here. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be good extra without something inexplicable happening. It's so bright. Since we're here, what do you say we grab a boat and go out on the water? I think I'd shrivel up and die out there. Could we at least stay on land, please? Oh, that's too bad, but I understand. Your health is more important, Michelle. We can talk here. You can ask me anything. Girl advice, guy advice, something more personal. We're not here for advice. We came to have a behind-the-scenes look at your character. Behind the scenes? Like with insider information. Something like that. My character's not all that complicated, though. At least I don't think so. It says on your cue card that she has a tendency to put blind faith in people. Yeah, I realized that in the final chapter. After Maria got on my case about it. It's true you tend to have your head in the clouds and are exceptionally loose with your trust. But that ultimately wouldn't have been an issue if the psychopathic monster were, well, anything resembling sane. Hey, don't talk about Yukimasa like that. He's a good guy. Whoa. How can you still say that after what he did to you? What happened to you in chapter 2 is terrible. Both then and the final chapter you were completely innocent. A victim of your taste in men. What do you even see in that thing? Originally I thought I liked him because he was hard-working, honest man. But now that I know the truth, I think it's more the case of I felt like I had to do something for him. What you should do is stay far, far away from him. I think subconsciously I picked up on his precariousness, and I wanted to be there for him. Like I said, a victim of your taste in men. I guess. So the world will probably be a better place with you keeping a watchful eye on him. Maybe I'll actually put a leash on him. Like a little doggy collar. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. Absolutely never. And I probably shouldn't say that I thought it was a good idea. Oh, Michelle, there's another note on the cue card you haven't read yet. Or are you planning on skipping that one? I'm not sure I should. It's on the card. You should read it. Alright, so just for the record, I'm only saying this because it's on the card. Okay. She has the second largest breast of any character in the game. Am I allowed to take him into court for that? I told you that's what was on the card. Could have at least been a little less straight about it. You seem to be pretty dense when it comes to things like that, though. I was exiled before I had a chance to learn how to properly interact like an adult. Don't think I didn't see you awkwardly sneaking glances at her as you read the card. It makes me wonder what it said on your card is true, or if you actually prefer big boobs. I was not, and it doesn't matter what my preferences are. I don't think I have any choice but to take this to court. Fate is literally your character, so why wouldn't you put any in me? I saw that. That's something else I appreciated about Yukimasa. He never gave girls inappropriate looks. Probably because his targeting system was calibrated differently. Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about him. I know he's a good guy, and that's all that matters. It's almost terrifying how much she can trust him so much. Giselle can also be deeply trusting, but at least she's been able to acknowledge what kind of person she's placing the trust in. But Pauline, she's definitely blind. Hey, look, you something on your mind, Michelle? No, it's nothing. Pauline, there's something I've been wanting to ask you. Oh? Are you a virgin? Are you a virgin? What? What? A nun in the service of the Lord, you're required to maintain your chastity. Furthermore, you're known as a saintess. So to break that vow would be utmost act of sacrilege. Absolutely. Of course I am. Oh, good. Words cannot describe how awkward this is. I think it's time we headed off. Have a good day and may God bless. Please refrain from invoking my father's name like that. It is disrespectful coming from a woman who yearns after worldly pleasure. I'm sorry. Yikes. Farewell. So you wish to see her, do you? I'm not very comfortable around her, but as you wish. Well, if it isn't Morgana! It's been forever. It's been some time, yes? You're not gonna find me down here, Morgana. Come on, show me that pretty little face of yours. No need to hide it. Do you not bear a grudge against me? Why would I? Of course, you deserved at least to fall under my curse. You happen to have known the Lord, that was all. You even took care of me at the brothel. Is that some legitimate regret I'm sensing? Ah, water on the bridge, no point holding it over you. If anything, that sack of shit Jack was to blame. Meanwhile, no one has any sympathy for him. As they should. Not even a single drop. Besides, I didn't fuck you over pretty hard, and I did kind of fuck you over pretty hard in the third chapter. That wasn't me. Not exactly, but she was supposed to be a part of you, wasn't she? At least at first I wasn't planning to cause Madam as much grief as I did. I just, once it got started, it's probably the control, you know. She's kind of a terrifying woman. But you ultimately tripped up at the end. You should have aimed for where the bastard's weakest. His poor, fragile masculinity. Or the head. Either works. See, that's my problem. I don't really think before I act. I just kind of run with my instinct. I'm betting the third chapter only went as well as it did because I had your curse helping me out. Most likely. But do you know what's a real work of art? My profile on the website. It says I'm her only ally. When in reality I was her greatest foe. I don't think that's something to be proud of. The transformation in the third chapter was a sight to behold indeed. You even look like a completely different person. I'm a girl of many faces. I have to say, I prefer you like this. Crass but not too vulgar, with everything out in the open. I'm totally with you there. Well, I'm playing so many roles. Playing so many roles is hard fucking work. I imagine. Anyway, you're not here just to shoot the shit, are you? Ah yes, we came to discuss your character for this behind-the-scenes extra. Go on, Michelle. Quit staring off into space and read the card. I was going to read the card, but What is it, some kind of mind-blowing revelation? Well, you don't have to wait for me. I'm all ears. It's blank. It's what? I'm not kidding. It's completely blank. Hey, what the hell? Get your asses out here, staff, and explain yourselves. Why is mine the only one that has nothing on it? No themes, no profiles, no nothing? I suppose it means you're exactly what you appear to be. In a way, that could be considered better than everyone else with their secrets and ambiguous motivations. It's still a shitty thing to do. At least give me a theme or something. We could come up with one if you want. I need some time to think about it. Better make it a good one. Let's see. How about sisterhood? Seriously? That's not what I expected at all. It was the first thing that came to mind. That ain't half bad. I figured you'd go with something a little more pointed, like betrayal or sluttiness. How about self-deprecation? So you think of me as a sister, do you, Morgana? I'm cool with that. Chin up, girl. I'm not down there. Is she blushing? Morgana, out of curiosity, would you consider Giselle to be like a sister too? She's more like a pet. Oh, I see. Anyway, I'm glad to see you're doing well. Or chugging along, at least. How to say anyone's doing well when we're all dead, huh? Sounds way too jolly about that. I know this is just an extra, but I'm glad we have the chance to talk. Morgana. Me too. Looks like you have grown a bit. Morgana, I knew you would have never admitted that. We should get going. Oh well, let's hope we meet again. Later, Morgana. Someday, perhaps. That's the last of that group. Only a few more to go. You mean that wasn't everyone? Unless you want that to be everyone. Alright. It'll be nice to see my brothers again. Off we go then. Ooh. Let's go in reverse order for this one. Alright, well then if we want to see him, we'll have to head down to the entrance. So how do you feel about her now, after everything, Mosca? Michelle. I beg you, punish me for my sins. Huh? Hold on, wait, what? I released you from my guests at the end of the game. So why have you reverted to how we found you? Why not? This is an extra. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Canon or not, nothing can erase my crimes. Please, Didier, don't. You're just making it uncomfortable for me to be here. I see. Well, if you insist. Guess they're just going to leave the graphic up. I will say I'm rather fond of that armor. I like to wear some of it just once. You're welcome to try it on if you'd like. Now you can read my mind? No, but I can read your face. Why not? I think I'll pass. Armor wouldn't suit me. Probably wouldn't fit me either. Are you certain? I don't have nearly enough muscle to look the part. Maybe I should start working out. Oh yes, Knight, I have something I want to ask you. Oh, what might that be? You don't remember killing Georg at the end of the game, do you? Morgana, is this really the time? Your list of sins grows longer, Knight. I not only murdered Michelle, but Georg as well. I must be punished. Hang me upon the cross. I'm unworthy to call myself a knight. Didier does the horrific thing and then goes for punishment. He cannot think of things outside of that sort of dynamic. He has sinned and he's going to sin and he needs to be punished. Rather than being able to avoid that entirely, it's a huge responsibility thing just piling on even more. Oh, Michelle would totally become a LARPer in modern times. And he's gone, once again racked by guilt. You weren't kidding when you said this extra didn't respect the tone of the game, were you? My brothers are not your playthings. This was supposed to be a happy reunion. You're going to drive yourself mad if you fret over every little thing wrong with this extra. Then we should get going. Alright then, off we go. Oh, hey there, Michelle, Morgana. How's it hanging? Hold on, why are you still painting? No, it just kind of feels right. More my image? I guess readers probably associate me with this more than my human form, too. Maybe, but still. Oh, it ain't the end of the world, little bro. Being a painting's actually quite nice. Being bred's fine, actually. But that aside, there's plenty to watch. Oh, Never made that connection. You were here for all the first 3 chapters, weren't you? Sure was. And you have no idea how bamboozled I was when the white girl first showed up. I was like, my painting had come to life. Did you think she was me? Why would I? You're nothing alike. I mean, you might have looked a little like that as a kid, but you were definitely not that docile. So does that mean I'm the only one who thought she was once again, Georg actually kinda based? But then you gotta remember what he did. Probably. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Georg. You're my brother, I wouldn't confuse you for anyone. You're trying to make yourself sound like a good brother. You're going to have to try a lot harder than that. You and the knight still exiled him at the mansion and cut off all communication. Morgana, I've already said I don't hold that against them anymore. She's got a point, though. I was so busy with my work, it just kind of slipped my mind. I really am sorry about that. So much for family. But enough of that. The cue cards, Michelle. Read the profile for a guess. I'm not exactly comfortable saying this to my brother's face. Oh, what's to say? It's some really dark secret? I wouldn't call it that now. Fine, I'll read it if you don't want to. Let's see here. He's the biggest dumbass in the game. Confirmed. Harsh, man, harsh. I don't think you're supposed to find that funny, Georg. I agree with that assessment. Either his head's empty or he needs to learn to use it a lot more. I promise you I've done a ton of thinking since becoming a painter. Felt really bad about a whole bunch of crap. That's not really my style though, so it never lasted long. I wish it were that easy for me. You know, of the 3 Bollinger brothers, I do kind of stick out. With all my love, you and Dee are both more a stick of the bunch. So maybe I am legitimate. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that turned out to be the case. Out of curiosity, what do all the different Bollingers look like? Dee and Mom had blonde hair, Dad had darkish brown, I had jet black, and Michelle, well, you know what he looks like. You can't possibly be legitimate. I'll keep praying that ain't the case. And this conversation's going nowhere, so we should head out. What, already? Take me with you, at least. Hold on, I'll get you down from there. No, you are not bringing him. All he does is make noise. Well, I tried. Oh well, that's too bad. Take care of it anyway, Michelle. You too. Oh, and Georg. What's up? I'm praying your soul wasn't extinguished. Yeah, me too. Thanks though, bro. See you again. Later, Michelle. As you wish, let's see what Wait, slow down. How could she possibly be? You never summoned her. She had no reason to find her way here like my brothers. It's an extra. I can do whatever I want. Hold on. She doesn't even have a sprite. That won't be a problem. All we have to do is switch to portrait mode. Switch to portrait mode? This can't be happening. Michelle, your face. You're not looking very protagonisty. Why, hello there, Michelle. It's been quite some time. I see you found enough guts to show your face around me again. No need to glare. I was your first love, wasn't I? That was just hormones. I never had any romantic feelings for you. Right, you only lusted after me. There's something I always wanted to tell you. Oh, and what would that be? Your smile. Your smile's goddamn terrifying. And off he goes. I take back what I said about him finding his guts. Give me a moment, I'll bring him back. Now, that was shameful, Michelle. I thought you were a man. Morgana, make this quick, please. She did quite a bit of damage to him. Okay, according to the cue cards, if you were to rank the characters in Fata Morgana by how evil they are, the three biggest, baddest women in the game would be Emma, Maria, and Morgana. Wait, why is my name on this list? No, I will not accept that. Maria wasn't that bad in my time either. Please, just keep reading. Oh, fine, you're quite the hurry. Emma, though, she's pure evil. Well, that's not very nice. Maria and I had our reasons for what we did, but she tortured people for the joy of it. Oh no, I would never dream of doing such a thing. She's the masked woman to go along with our masked man. They'd probably make a fine pair. I somehow doubt two of their type would be able to get along very well at all. And unlike him, she likes to take her time. Draw it out as long as possible. And much like what you said before you ran off, Michelle, it says here that Emma smiles a lot, but it's generally a fake smile. Oh no, all my smiles are entirely genuine, see? You can't fake not faking it. It doesn't work that way. Ah, rude. I could see her turning out to be the puppet master of the Bollinger family. You had your claws in them pretty deep, didn't you? It's that important. You damned monster. Listen carefully, Michelle. You were burned at the stake. I lived a life of luxury. I don't need to tell you whose methods are superior, do I? That only applies for my life. I'm more than happy now. Is that so? Well, I suppose congratulations are in order. Let's get out of here, Morgana. Farewell, Michelle. We'll probably never see each other again. It is interesting how arguably the most fucked up human being in the entire thing just got their happy ending. No strings attached. And that's the last of them. I suppose it's about time to draw this to an end. But haven't we missed one very important character? And who would that be? The white-haired girl. She's no longer in this world. Her soul has been erased. But this, you said you could do whatever you wanted because it's an extra. Within reason, I cannot bring back that which no longer exists. She lives on within your memories. She wouldn't ask for anything more. That doesn't make it any less sad. Giselle is waiting. We should head back. Oh, hello. Welcome back, Michelle Morgana. Giselle, what are you wearing? This felt more appropriate to say farewell in. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Anything goes here. Except when it doesn't. Alright everyone, squeeze in for one last illustration. And don't forget to smile for our readers. I love this picture so much. Thank you very much for reading all the way to the end of our extra. And likewise, thank you very much for reading to the end of the game. If our stories had any sort of impact on you, we couldn't ask for anything more. And hopefully they don't just remember them as comically tragic. It did have a happy ending though. I'm not convinced you could call that an entirely happy ending myself. There's at least one person who's not coming back. And do we even know if he got the body you wanted? Whether he did or not, we're together. And we have a future. We'll make it work. If you say so. We hope you enjoyed playing the House of Fata Morgana. The staff and localization team poured their hearts and souls into this game, and every satisfied reader validates their effort. It took a long time to get this point. The first draft of the skip was completed in 2009. So 4 years until the initial release, then another 3 years to come out in English. That's a bit excessive if you ask me. But hopefully that effort results in something worthy of all the time it took. And hopefully whatever they make next doesn't take quite so long. Actually, the team's next game has already been released. Wait, has it? Why was I not informed of this? We're keeping it as a surprise. This is my domain. I do not appreciate surprises. Now, don't throw a fit, my dear. Now that's my phrase, thank you very much. And so on that note, we have an exciting announcement. The follow-up to The House in Fata Morgana, A Requiem for Innocence, will also be coming out in English in 2016. Hey, there's a prequel game that's just as long as this game. And we're totally gonna get to it. But maybe not right away, because I've been swamped with second job, looking for my next co-op job, interviewing for all that. working on my thesis, and all my regular coursework, as well as any other personal stuff I'm doing. It has been hectic as hell. So I might do some variety games in between and whatnot. But yeah. Releasing both games in the same year. Are we sure this localization team can handle that, considering how long this one took? They don't have much of a choice at this point. The announcement's been made. There's no taking it back now. I hope they have lots of caffeine then. I have faith in them. That makes one of us. Let's say two. One or 1.5 maybe. Well, I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Unless you're reading this and it's already out. That would make us look very silly. Anyway, enough diversions. Thank you very much for sticking with us to the end, and we hope to see you again relatively soon. Bye, and I hope you liked the game enough to pick up a Requiem for Innocence. Farewell, my dear. And that's it. That's the house in Fata, Morgana. I said thank you for so much and talked about how this game is so important to me so many times, but it really just is. Every time I hear one of the songs, every time I think of one of those characters, oftentimes when things about my own body or my own circumstances get to me, remembering this game helps in a lot of ways, actually. I want to thank the writers and the team member who made this, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope you loved this game as much as I did. I'm gonna just I'm just gonna see who's available to raid, and then I'm just gonna send you off to Red Muffler Man. I love you all, and I hope your lives you found a lot of enjoyment. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone. Bye. Oh wait, my raid function's not working. Why is it like this? I can't end this without errors, could I? Thank you so much for I'm just gonna take Red Muffler Man's little URL and send that instead, because my raid is it's saying I'm not logged on into OBS for some reason. So oh, I can't even type it out. Okay, I'm gonna have to join from my own stream, and then I'll send the raid. Okay, we're getting ready for the raid. Anyway, once again, thanks for always being here, Mosca, because sometimes I feel like stuff's a waste, and if I'm just sitting out here alone, and just knowing that you're constantly here all the time helps so much. Have a good night.